AD, Eric the Red, exiled from Iceland for murder, steered his longship into the unknown western seas. At the end of the storm, he found a green fjord. It was the medieval warm period. To attract settlers, he gave this icy land a seductive name, Greenland. It was one of history's most successful real estate marketing lies. The Vikings came. They brought cattle and sheep, built long houses. In the fjords at the edge of the world, smoke roses, and civilization took root. Even in the polar regions, they did not forget God. Hvalsey Church, with thick stone walls insulated by turf, was both a fortress of faith and a shield against the cold winds. Look at these exquisite carvings. Listen to this solemn mass. Though in a savage land, they stubbornly held onto their European identity. The cross and Thor's hammer coexisted here. The bell echoed among the empty glaciers. It was a lonely yet stubborn declaration of civilization. But in a place where grains could not grow, how did they survive? The answer lay on the ice floes further north, walruses, and their precious tusks. It was a dangerous gamble. The northern ivory, brought back by hunters, became the economic umbilical cord. Connecting Greenland to Europe, they traded teeth for iron and grain. These tusks were carved into exquisite chess pieces, even gifted to the Pope. Greenland's fate hung entirely on this fragile trading line. As the climate cooled, another people, better adapted to the ice, appeared: the Thule people, ancestors of the Inuit, paddled south in their kayaks. This was the first gaze between two civilizations on the ice sheet. The Vikings called them Skrellings, meaning weaklings. Arrogance led them to refuse communication, refuse to learn survival skills. This divide sowed the seeds of destruction. The Inuits were as agile as seals, while the Vikings were as clumsy as stubborn farmers. In the face of the coming winter, the scales of fate began to tip. In the 14th century, the Little Ice Age descended. Cold blockaded the shipping lanes, severing ties with Europe. The Greenland settlements became an isolated island in a sea of ice. Pastures died, cattle fell. Without wood for warmth, they were forced to burn dung and bones. Hunger roamed the longhouses like a ghost. Blizzards buried the roofs. Prayers were drowned out by the wind. They clung to their European way of life, refusing to the very end to live like the Inuit. In 1408, at Hvalsey Church, a final wedding was held. Despite approaching death, they donned their best clothes and followed strict Christian rituals. It was a heartbreaking dignity. Outside, glaciers were advancing. Inside, people celebrated in desolation. This was the last glimpse the Greenland Vikings left to history. After the wedding, the last ship departed. Those left behind were swallowed by the snow dot here. The pages of history closed. No massacre, no war. When Inuit hunters returned, they found only empty stalls and rusting iron knives. The people had quietly vanished. Roofs collapsed, buried by earth. The once bustling settlements became mounds on the grass. Europe forgot these lost children. Bones told us that in their final years, they relied almost entirely on seals. They tried to adapt, but it wasn't enough. This is a tragedy of survival and climate. In modern times, archaeologists peel back the permafrost, awakening this memory. AI helps us reconstruct that green world of rising smoke. Looking at these frozen ruins, we see human resilience, but also nature's ruthlessness. It is a mirror, reflecting our fragility in the face of climate change. The lights have gone out, but the echoes remain. The Greenland Viking ruins, a frozen afterglow at the end of the North Atlantic.